In the heart of England's peaceful Salisbury Plain stands an ancient wonder that has defied time: Stonehenge. The massive stones, towering like silent giants, have stood there for millennia, witnessing countless sunrises and sunsets. But what do we really know about it? Who transported and erected these tens of tons of stones using only human strength and primitive tools? And more importantly, what was the true purpose of Stonehenge? For centuries, this mysterious structure has aroused curiosity, fueled countless theories, and inspired countless stories, from ancient rituals tied to the sun to a complex observatory or even a sacred cemetery. Each theory opens a door to a fascinating prehistoric world. Today, we will embark on that journey of discovery together. Let's peel back the layers of mystery, shine a light on the latest archaeological evidence, and reveal what modern science has discovered about the secrets of Stonehenge. Get ready, because what you're about to see could completely change the way you view one of the greatest wonders of mankind. After a fascinating introduction, let's set foot in the land of mysteries. Stonehenge, the name is too familiar, but do we really understand it? Let's start with the facts that archaeology and science have discovered about this magnificent structure. Stonehenge was not built overnight. Think of it as a project that spanned thousands of years, built over generations. Scientists estimate that the construction of Stonehenge began around 3000 BC and lasted until around 2000 BC. That is, it was standing there long before the Great Pyramids of Egypt were completed, and even older than the first cities of Mesopotamia. So who were the people who built this masterpiece? They were Neolithic and Bronze Age communities in Britain. These prehistoric people had no modern technology, no machines, but possessed an incredible ability to organize and a deep understanding of their surroundings. They were farmers, herders, living in simple villages, but together they created such a great work that we still marvel at today. What makes Stonehenge special is not just its age, but also its size and the type of material used. The structure is made up of two main types of stones, each with its own story. First are the Sarsen stones, giant sandstone boulders up to 7 meters high, weighing more than 20 tons, and sometimes up to 50 tons. To think, the largest modern truck can only carry about 30 to 40 tons. These stones were quarried from the Marlborough Downs, an area about 30 kilometers north of Stonehenge. Moving them that distance over uneven terrain without wheels or large draft animals was an extraordinary feat of engineering. Second are the bluestones, slightly smaller stones, each weighing between 2 and 4 tons. They may sound smaller, but what's amazing is where they came from. These bluestones are believed to have come from the Prehistoric Hills in West Wales, no less than 250 kilometers from Stonehenge. They were transported by land, then possibly by river, and finally by sea, and then again by land. The journey was a colossal effort, involving hundreds, even thousands of people over many years. Once these stones arrived, they weren't just set down. They were carved and shaped using primitive tools made of stone, bone, or wood. They were then erected by digging holes, lifting them with levers and human power, and finally lintels were attached to them. To do this, the builders used mortise and tenon joints, an advanced construction technique more commonly used in carpentry than in stonework, which shows the sophistication of their thinking. While archaeological evidence has revealed much, the biggest mystery about Stonehenge remains. Why was it built? Unlike other ancient structures such as the pyramids, where we have hieroglyphs or texts recording its purpose, Stonehenge is completely devoid of any clear historical records from its creators. We have no diaries, no drawings, no inscriptions explaining its purpose. This makes Stonehenge a great historical puzzle, a puzzle that archaeologists, astronomers, and historians have been trying to decipher for centuries. Stonehenge is not a random collection of stones. It is a purposeful structure, a complex architectural design with lines, circles, and special alignments. Each stone is placed in its place, creating a harmonious and meaningful whole. This shows that the builders of Stonehenge had not only physical strength, but also knowledge, vision, and a great purpose. So what was that purpose? That is the question we will find the answer to in the next part of this video. as we venture into the world of fascinating theories and emerging scientific evidence. We've covered the history, structure, and construction of Stonehenge. But now, we're going to get to the heart of the mystery. What was the true purpose of this monument? For hundreds of years, researchers, scientists, and even paranormal enthusiasts have proposed countless theories. There's no single answer, but each one offers a deeper insight into the wisdom and beliefs of prehistoric people. We'll explore the most prominent theories, delve into the evidence that's been found, and consider the arguments for and against them. One of the oldest and most widely supported theories is that Stonehenge served as a giant ancient astronomical observatory. Imagine, on a summer morning thousands of years ago, prehistoric people gathered here, intently watching the first rays of the summer solstice shine directly into the center of the circle, passing through a special stone. On the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the sun rises exactly in line with the heel stone, a large stone located outside the main circle, and the first rays of the sun will shine directly into the center of the structure. This alignment is not accidental, but the result of deliberate design and a deep understanding of the movement of the sun. On the other hand, on the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, the sun sets in line with the two largest stones of the Sarsen circle, known as the trilithons. This dual alignment with both extreme points of the sun on the horizon suggests a complex understanding of the solar cycle. For prehistoric farming communities, accurately tracking the seasons was crucial. The summer solstice marked the peak of summer, the time for planting and growing. The winter solstice marked the end of the cold season and the promise of spring. Stonehenge may have been a great computer for keeping track of time, helping them determine when to sow, harvest, and prepare for the coming seasons. It was a calendar made of stones. In addition to its practical purpose, this alignment may also have had religious or spiritual implications. The sun was the source of life, the supreme deity in many ancient cultures. Observing and honoring the sun at these important times may have been an integral part of their beliefs. Some researchers have also suggested that Stonehenge may have been used to track the lunar cycle, predict solar and lunar eclipses, making it a much more complex observatory than we have imagined. However, the evidence for lunar alignment is more controversial than that for the sun. While the astronomical evidence is strong, calling Stonehenge simply an observatory may be an oversimplification. There is not enough evidence to suggest that they were capable of predicting complex events like eclipses. Furthermore, building such a massive structure simply to serve as a calendar seems implausible when there are simpler ways to track the seasons. Which brings us to our next hypothesis. If Stonehenge was more than just an observatory, what else was it? The second, and also widely supported, theory is that Stonehenge was a massive ceremonial and worship center, a sacred place that attracted communities from all over. Excavations around Stonehenge have uncovered a wealth of evidence of ritual activity. Large amounts of animal bones, especially those of pigs and cows, have been found, indicating large feasts and possibly sacrifices. These traces suggest that thousands of people gathered there at certain times of the year, especially in winter. A variety of pottery, stone tools, and other artifacts have been found, suggesting that this was a regular gathering place and had an important spiritual significance to their lives. An ancient road, known as the Avenue, led directly from the River Avon to Stonehenge. This road, along with other roads leading to the site, suggests a purposeful processional or parade route leading to a sacred center. For prehistoric societies, the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds was blurred. Stonehenge may have been a place where they connected with their ancestors, with their gods, or with supernatural forces. It may have been an open-air temple where priests performed important rituals to ensure good harvests, good health for the community, or to pray for harmony with nature. An intriguing variation on the ritual theory is that Stonehenge may have been a healing center. This is suggested by the provenance of the bluestones from the Preseli Hills in Wales. In local Welsh folklore, bluestones are believed to have healing powers. Researchers have found evidence of many skeletons at Stonehenge, showing signs of illness or injury, and many of them were not local residents, suggesting they had traveled a long way to get there. It is possible that the ancients believed that the energy of the bluestones, or the rituals performed there, could bring about healing. Perhaps these two theories are not mutually exclusive. An astronomical observatory could also have been a ceremonial site. Aligning with the rising and setting sun was not just about telling time, but also about honoring the sun gods, performing rituals related to the natural cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Stonehenge could have been a large open-air cathedral, where time and the cosmos were intertwined with faith. In addition to its astronomical and ceremonial role, excavations have also yielded significant evidence of Stonehenge's role as an important burial ground. The 56 Aubrey pits were originally thought to have been used to place wooden or stone posts, but archaeologists have since found cremated remains in some of these pits, suggesting that these were burial sites from very early in Stonehenge's history. More than 60 cremated remains of men, women, and children have been found at Stonehenge and its surrounding areas. Analysis of the remains suggests that many of these individuals were of high social status or were important in the construction and maintenance of the site. Interestingly, isotope analysis of bones suggests that many of the people buried at Stonehenge were not local residents. They may have come from Wales or even from further afield in Europe. This reinforces the idea that Stonehenge was a site of regional or interregional significance, attracting special people to come here for their eternal rest. For many ancient cultures, burying ancestors at a sacred site was a way to maintain a connection with the past and to ask for blessings for the future. Stonehenge may have been a place of ancestor worship, where the spirits of the dead continued to protect and bless the community. The enormous effort and resources that went into building Stonehenge suggest that it was probably a place reserved for nobles, chieftains, or high priests, where they could demonstrate their power and status, even in death. Finally, a very important and comprehensive hypothesis is that Stonehenge was not just one of the above, but a powerful symbol of the power, unity, and strength of a community or confederation of communities. As we have discussed, the transportation and erection of hundreds of giant stones required the cooperation of hundreds, even thousands of people over many generations. This could not have been achieved without a tight social structure, a leadership system capable of mobilizing and coordinating huge human resources. The quarrying, transportation, and erection of stones over such a long distance suggests that the builders had incredible project management skills, from planning to dividing labor to solving technical problems that arose. Stonehenge may have been a neutral center where different tribes or communities from across the region gathered to settle disputes, form alliances, exchange goods, or perform common rituals. The cooperation in building this structure may have been a symbol of peace and unity. For the leaders, creating a monumental structure like Stonehenge was a way to demonstrate their power and wealth. It was a powerful message to both the inhabitants and neighboring tribes about their capabilities and influence. Together, we have traveled back in time, exploring the mysteries and theories about the purpose of Stonehenge. But the story of Stonehenge is much more than what we know. In recent decades, with the explosion of technology and innovation in archaeological methods, we are witnessing a revolution in the way we understand this ancient monument. New discoveries, made possible by advanced tools, are revealing a picture that is much more complex and vast than we ever imagined. Let's explore how modern technology is helping us look through time and the ground to discover the hidden secrets of Stonehenge. In the past, archaeology was associated with large-scale excavations, digging up the ground to find artifacts. Today, however, scientists have developed non-invasive archaeology methods that allow them to explore and map underground without touching the ancient landscape. This is especially important for a sensitive heritage site like Stonehenge. For example, ground-penetrating radar (GPR). Think of GPR as an ultrasound scanner for the ground. It sends pulses of radio waves into the ground. When these pulses encounter objects or changes in geological structures, such as an ancient wall, a filled-in ditch, or a burial pit, they bounce back. GPR records the timing and intensity of these reflected waves to create a detailed 3D map of what lies beneath. Applications at Stonehenge. GPR has been used extensively around Stonehenge. It has helped archaeologists uncover unknown burial pits, foundation lines of ancient timber or stone structures, and even traces of roads or ditches that have been filled in over time. It's like having a giant X-ray machine to see the skeleton of an ancient landscape. Magnetometry. This method measures small changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Different materials, e.g., rocks, metals, soils disturbed by human activity, have different magnetic properties. Archaeologists use magnetometers to detect magnetic anomalies that suggest the presence of ancient underground structures, kilns, or trash pits. Magnetometry has helped locate ancient ditches, areas of human activity that do not leave obvious traces on the surface. For example, it can detect areas of heated soil, such as hearths or pottery kilns, providing clues about the daily lives of the people who built Stonehenge. Resistivity survey. This method measures the ability of soil to conduct electricity. Different materials have different resistivities. For example, an ancient underground stone wall will have a higher resistivity than the surrounding soil, while a ditch filled with moist soil will have a lower resistivity. Resistivity surveys have helped archaeologists map underground stone or timber structures, as well as filled burial pits, revealing a complex network of structures and areas of activity below the surface. One of the biggest breakthroughs of the past decade has been the Stonehenge Hidden Landscapes project. This is a major international collaboration that uses the latest non-invasive technologies to map dozens of square kilometers of the landscape surrounding Stonehenge. The results are truly astonishing. The Stonehenge we know is just one part, one highlight, of a much larger architectural and ceremonial complex hidden underground. The project has discovered many other previously unknown stone or timber circles within a few kilometers of Stonehenge. One of the most striking discoveries is the Durrington Walls area, a giant earthen circle, much larger than Stonehenge. Underneath Durrington Walls, scientists have found traces of a wooden super Stonehenge, with giant wooden posts that could be up to 5 meters high. This suggests that there may have been a pair of Stonehenge. One stone for the setting sun or for the dead, and one wooden for the rising sun or for the living, forming a complex ritual system. More recently, in 2020, a team discovered a giant circle of more than 20 large pits, each about 10 meters wide and 5 meters deep, located about 3 kilometers from Stonehenge. These pits form a circle more than 2 kilometers in diameter, surrounding Durrington Walls. The pits are believed to be around 4,500 years old and may have served as a sacred boundary, a giant circle to mark out a large area for rituals. The project also detailed ancient roads, water channels, and areas of human activity, forming a complex network that connects Stonehenge to other sites in the landscape. This suggests that Stonehenge was not an isolated structure, but part of a ceremonial system tightly integrated into its surroundings. These discoveries have completely changed the way we think about Stonehenge. It is not just a single monument, but the center of a vast ceremonial landscape where thousands of people gathered, lived, and performed spiritual activities for millennia. In addition to the architectural discoveries, modern technology has also helped us gain a deeper understanding of the people who built and used Stonehenge. Genetic analysis, ancient DNA, and isotope analysis of human and animal remains have yielded invaluable information. By analyzing chemical isotopes such as strontium and oxygen in human tooth enamel and bones, scientists can determine the geographic area where a person lived during their early years. Studies have shown that many of the remains buried at Stonehenge, especially those involved in the original construction or those of high status, were not local. Many came from Wales, the same area as the bluestones. This supports the theory that Stonehenge may have been a meeting point for distant communities, or the resting place of important people from other lands. Analyzing carbon and nitrogen isotopes in bones can reveal ancient people's diets, e.g., whether they ate more meat or plants. DNA analysis can reveal their genetic relationships, genetics, and even the diseases they suffered from. This information can help us better understand the lives, health, and travels of the people who helped build Stonehenge. Similarly, analysis of animal bones, e.g., pigs and cows, found at feasting sites around Stonehenge shows that they were brought from all over Britain, not just locally. This further supports the idea that Stonehenge was a major gathering place where people from all over brought offerings and participated in communal feasts. Analysis of animal teeth can also help determine the season in which animals were slaughtered, providing further evidence of when large rituals or gatherings took place, e.g. in winter, coinciding with the winter solstice. All of these new technologies and discoveries are not just individual pieces of the puzzle. They are slowly piecing together to form a more vivid picture of Stonehenge and the landscape around it. It was not just a stone monument, but a complex center of life, belief, and social interaction for prehistoric humans. With each new discovery, we realize more about the greatness and complexity of Stonehenge. It continues to challenge our understanding, open up new questions, and arouse endless curiosity. From technologies that peer into the earth to deciphering the story of ancient bones, modern science is gradually revealing a more vivid Stonehenge, a legacy not only of architecture, but also of human thought and spirit. However, despite all the great advances, the mystery of Stonehenge remains. The biggest questions still await answers, and that is what makes Stonehenge so fascinating. It invites us to continue to ponder, to continue to study, and to continue to marvel at the intelligence of those who built this wonder. In the final part, we will summarize what we have learned and think about the future of Stonehenge exploration. We have been on a long and fascinating journey together, delving into the history, structure, theories, and latest scientific discoveries of Stonehenge. From the giant stones that defy the laws of Stone Age physics to the archaeological evidence that reveals a complex prehistoric society, Stonehenge has never ceased to amaze us. So, after all, have we found the answer to its purpose? As we have analyzed, Stonehenge is not a simple structure serving a single purpose. Instead, the evidence we have shows that it is a multifunctional masterpiece where many meanings and purposes have been intertwined over millennia. It is a great astronomical observatory, precisely aligned with important solar events such as the summer and winter solstices. For prehistoric people, tracking the solar cycle was not only a science, but also a matter of survival, helping them determine their harvests and prepare for changes in nature. It was a sacred ceremonial and worship center. Traces of large feasts, sacrificial offerings, and processional paths have shown that Stonehenge was a place where people gathered, performed religious rituals, communicated with gods or ancestors, and sought healing. It was an open-air church where people connected with the cosmos and the spirit world. It was also an important cemetery, the resting place of high-ranking or special people. The discovery of remains from distant lands shows that this was a revered site, a final resting place where many people wished to be buried. And most importantly, Stonehenge is a powerful symbol of power and unity. Its construction required a colossal effort, unprecedented cooperation, and social organization at the time. It was not just a physical structure, but also a symbol of a united community capable of great things beyond the limits of its time. So we can imagine Stonehenge as a meeting point. It is a place where heaven and earth meet, where humans and gods connect, where the past and the present meet. It is a complex picture, painted by thousands of years of human labor, knowledge, and belief. Despite the enormous advances in science, using the most advanced technologies to see through time and land, Stonehenge still retains a mysterious quality that is difficult to fully explain. And that is what makes it so attractive. We still have big questions. Who were the master stonemasons who precisely carved the giant Sarsen stones without leaving any metal tools? Where did they learn such sophisticated astronomical knowledge and construction techniques? Were there other civilizations that influenced them? What is the connection between Stonehenge and other sites in the vast landscape of Salisbury Plain? What specific role do the newly discovered stone circles or supermassive pits play in the overall picture? And more deeply, what were the philosophies, beliefs, and visions of those who devoted their lives to this work? We can only speculate about the powerful spiritual motivation behind a project that spanned millennia. The mystery of Stonehenge is not a lack of knowledge, but an eternal invitation. It invites us to continue exploring, to continue learning, and to continue reflecting on the ingenuity, wisdom, and beliefs of the civilizations that shaped human history. You want to learn something new every day? This channel is for you. Subscribe to get the latest tutorials and lessons.